Xavier gonna take Uncle tonight?
What's up, everybody? How we doing? We back again. Yesterday, I get out of work. I was so tired. I come home. I set up the podcast and everything. I do it. Never even shut it off, man. 8 hours later, I get a call. Be like, yo, your podcast has been running for the last 8 hours. I was like, oh, snap. But what's up, everybody, man? Super Bowl weekend. You know, I congratulated Bishop Hendricken, man. People got all upset. And I don't want to be taken out on Bishop Hendricken. Like, the league, that's the rules are the rules, right? This is why we have the rules. Watching the Bishop Hendricken game, LaSalle last night. Bishop Hendricken wins this game. Spoiler alert, if you didn't already see it, man. A lot of good football games going to be going on this week. You know, we're going to what did you think about the Bishop Hendricken LaSalle game last night?
I'm trying to look. It was wind. You mentioned the wind. It was a little windy earlier,
but it's not as bad. When I was down there on the field at the beginning, it wasn't as bad.
I think everybody expected both these programs.
Ceased there a little bit.
There comes Perry in the backfield by himself. 4 receivers, split wide right.
Perry, he is the quarterback for LaSalle, is the son of Brown's football coach, Perry, up there. You know, some people say, was it because his father is the coach at Brown? Is that why he's a quarterback over here? Or is he a good quarterback? Haven't really watched the kid much this season.
Ionetti comes in tight to the H-back.
Gray Ionetti. Shout out to him.
Campbell trying to bounce it outside. Lowers his shoulder.
That's somebody who they needed to be worried about. Campbell, you got to know how to slow him down. You got to know how to stop him.
Yeah, nice.
On the other platform, they just said coaching Hendricken is like coaching a Tesla.
Takes that wide zone, if you will.
They said it's like coaching a Tesla over there, Hendricken.
Rather than lining him up.
Not sure how true it is.
He's lining up as a wing right now. Here he comes back into the backfield now.
Butterville, big game today. Coach Ferraro, good luck.
You got to pinch and make sure
Coach Ferraro, 9 Super Bowls, winning 6 of them.
Back to pass, swing pass, out into the flat. Makes one man miss, but what a great open field tackle right there by number 9, Jeremy Dennis.
Yeah, Stitchell on the little swing pass.
So right
Dennis
now,
comes out of that
Hendricken has
secondary and just makes an open
21
field tackle to
Super
really no gain.
Bowls
Maybe give him a
total.
yard or two.
They're
Be a
like
third
4
down and about
behind
7 here for LaSalle.
Barville, 2 behind West Warwick now.
3rd and
But the
7
next
for
4
the
or 5
Rams.
years, if Hendricken keeps up this
Draw
run,
play. Maybe out to the 48.
I mean, they'll tell you they hold
Trying to catch them in a
in
little
the
bit of a
Super
prevent,
Bowl era
pass defense type
that
of thing, and
Hendricken holds
kick that
the
ball into
most.
Campbell's
But when we're
stomach on
talking
that
about in the
running
history
back
of
draw. Picks up about
Rhode
3 or
Island
4
High
yards
School
on that
football,
one. Not enough for the first down, so it'll force LaSalle
it's
into a punting
Barville.
situation just shy of the 50-yard line.
Well, so far your early decision to take the ball in the second half has paid off. Back to kicks. Maxwell Wallace, the senior.
De Silva back for Hendricken on the receiving end.
Good high kick, fair catch called for. And the Hawks will take over on their own 24-yard line. So if you're Hendricken, you got what you wanted right out of the gate.
You got what you wanted. You had faith in your defense. Not great field position.
So Lynch is the quarterback in shotgun, has Jeremy Sadai, the junior, to his right. Here's the inside handoff. Sadai right up the gut. Still moving. First down and then some, out to the 43-yard line.
They could not get your boy down.
Inside handoff. Sadai, the junior, to
They could not get him down at all.
his right. Here's the inside handoff. Sadai.
Like I see, he's gonna carry like a couple of the team with him. Let's see, you got 1, 2, you got 3, you got possibly 4. I see 4 LaSalle guys in the vicinity.
Right up the gut. Still moving. First down and then some, out to the 43-yard line.
Nice gain of 18 yards just inside zone. Just pounds
18
that
yard
football up there.
gain.
That offensive line doing a nice job up front and getting that lane to Sidey, and he gets up in
For the
there.
Barville North
Another
Kingstown
fancy, they
game,
just handed
2
it, he went to
teams
the
today
back,
that
was
definitely
Inside zone, see,
belong
get it
there.
up
They
the
played
field,
each other a
pick
couple
a
of
lane
weeks
and get
ago.
it going. That's what he
North
did. North and
Kingstown,
South, nothing
Barville.
fancy.
North Kingstown is pretty big
First
program.
down, Hawks at their own 43. Handoff, same play again. Today picks
No,
up
but
a
I
block
gotta
from
say,
his wide receiver, gets to
Nobody,
the edge, and a nice tackle.
nobody thought that Barville was going to be in the Super Bowl. If you're being honest with yourself, who really thought Barville was going to make it to the Super Bowl? You know, small program. We remember last time they were in Division I 4 years ago. You know, you got like 25 kids on that team that could play varsity football, maybe 25 kids. You know, out of all the programs, you know, who thought Barville was going to make it?
8:52 left here in the first quarter. Initial possession for the Hawks. Lynch, keeper this time, scampers outside, and he's tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like Matthew Sanzi with the tackle.
Yeah, man. Shanzi comes off linebacker position, makes that play in the backfield. Kind of got a little bit hung up in the backfield. Lynch did with that read option. So see if he can make a cleaner.
Yeah, I'm
read
gonna
the
try
next time.
to, man.
Does
We're gonna
pick up
try
2 yards,
to.
2nd and 8.
NFHS, they really ain't. They're really not too bad.
Second level.
You know,
They
as
did a
far
good
as
job right
reporting
there,
people,
making
you know,
that-
as long as we,
making that read.
I
not
shouldn't
as
be doing
easy
it
as
live,
has
but
been for
I
him.
can do stuff like this, come back, react to it, stop the video. You have to stop the video because that's kind of what the reaction is.
2nd and 8. Lynch, no communication problems this time. Still moving forward. Gets down to about the 34-yard line.
You know, I really can't be mad at Hendricken or LaSalle, St. Ray's, whether they're recruiting, whether they're not recruiting. I really can't be mad at them. You got to be mad at the league. I congratulated Hendricken today, and some people like, oh, screw them, you know. But you got to be mad at the league, right? The rules allow it. I ain't saying if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, but there's a lot of local programs that be trying to get kids on that, you know, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Third and a short 3, it looks like, Terry.
Yeah, that just he just fakes the ball to the right side to Sidey, and he's just going to follow that offensive line up front. Does a good job of keeping the legs moving. Picks up about 5 yards, puts him in a third down and about.
Hey, Ethan, man,
oh,
shout
two-
out
two
to
and a half,
you,
3
Ethan, the
yards.
running back over there at
Probably in territory where you're going to go
EWG
for a
Pro
twice here.
Football. They turned it on at the
third and
end
if
of
you
the
don't make it
season.
on
Never
this
thought it was
third down.
possible, but they did.
Same 5 up front, but Drosian is the H-back. Lynch stands at his 40 with Side to his right. Hands it off. First down and then some.
CD comes up just again inside zone, and he tried to jump, I think, over Stitchell. Unfortunately, he got a little piece of his ankle, flipped him over the top, but picks up 8 yards and picks up a first down on 3rd down and 3.
I wonder if he's a fan of Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, well, then you have to turn around and go the opposite way then, right?
7:02. Hawks are marching on a drive that started at their own 25. CD has been the workhorse on this drive. The front 5 of the Hawks just dominating play right now. Lynch up the middle, second level, gets down to the 18. The second and short.
Yeah, they're just faking that ball to the right side to CD, and those linebackers are taking a little bit of a step out that way, and then all of a sudden Lynch is in their face and beyond them, picks up 8 yards on a nice first down run, puts them at a 2nd down and 2 at the 19-yard line.
I'm sure there's somebody trying to spy him as well, but with all the action moving forward.
It's all that read option that they have nowadays, and if you run it right and you execute it well, you put the defense in a real bind.
You mentioned it earlier. He's running behind Stephen Antonucci, who is decommitted and still a free agent out there, I guess, if you will, in the high school level. Jet sweep to the near side, making one man miss, another man miss. Down to about the 1 yard line goes William Messina.
He just came from that slot to the right side, jet sweep, hits that thing at 100 miles an hour at that line of scrimmage and picks up great yardage down to the 1. I thought he might have been able to get in, made a nice tackle down there at the 1 yard line. 1st and goal at the 1 yard line for Hendricken.
Well, you mentioned it full speed. That's timing. That's
that
all
is
that is.
That's all that is.
He didn't slow down one iota.
You want him to hit that thing full speed, get that ball to him, and get around that corner and hit that edge as fast as he possibly can.
1st and goal for the Hawks. Looking to score first. 5:13 left here in the first quarter. Power backfield. Touchdown, Hendricken.
I think it was Seedy on that run.
Jeremy Seedy, a 1 yard touchdown run with 5:02 remaining, and the Hawks have jumped on top.
Just a inside zone. And what you're talking about down there with your offensive line, you tell them you score with your.
Look at all that traffic, huh? Hendricken scores. Didn't make it look too hard. Gotta get that out of there. Gotta get that out of there. You know, the Barville NK game today, that's going on, 1 o'clock. Shout out to Coach Ferraro. Shout out to North Kingstown. North Kingstown coming in with they got a big team. They got a lot of kids over there up in NK. What other games are going on tomorrow? You're going to have West Warwick Wizards and South Kingstown. That should be, I think that's probably going to be one of the better games remaining this weekend. SK West Warwick. You know, what a matchup that promises to be. You know, some great defensive talent in Division II football. That's for sure. Both teams, you know, they established themselves as formidable opponents, man. Limited points against them, with West Warwick allowing an average of 14 6.3 points per game. Is South Kingstown, they've been playing good all season long. They're even, they're only allowing 11 points per game. As far as West Warwick Wizards, they come in the game with some momentum, fresh off that impressive 27-13 victory over Westerly High School. That game was 27-13 in the playoffs. We're waiting for the game to come back on. Yeah, that was like 24-13. And where the momentum ended up changing in that game. Where was it? I think it was right over here, where the momentum ended up changing in that game for Westerly was, I'll show you. It was Westerly was up 13 to, I thought it was 13-8, but maybe 13-7. Probably right about, I know it was 4th and 6. So it was 4th and 6. Oh, and we're going to hang out. Speaking of this game, look at that. We got Coach Penn just decided to pop in, man. What's up, Coach?
Not much. What's happening?
All right. Not bad. We were just watching some of the HENDI LaSalle game, and I happened to, and I was explaining, that you're playing SK this week, going back to the Super Bowl. And I was explaining how it went up in Westerly last week, 4th and 6. Westerly, was on your 39-yard line. How was you feeling at that point in that game?
I mean, I never really felt that we were out of the game really at any point. I think that, we had the ability to make some plays to get back in the football game.
Yeah, because you was only down. It was a 1-score game at that point, Westerly. And I was surprised, on your 39-yard line, did they maybe have no faith in their defense? I'm not sure what they were thinking, but you scored 21 points in the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably understand, maybe what the coach was thinking, because if at that point I would be thinking if I could just get up 2 scores, you know what I mean, this game might be over, so it's kind of worth going for it there on 4th down. But it didn't work out that way. We ended up stopping him. And I think it was almost the next play or a play or two later, James Branch takes it down the sideline for, a 60-yard touchdown run.
3 plays later, actually. And that's the play that we had just seen. And I have James Branch as my athlete of the year. Even when he kind of went down with a little stumble, he got right back up, got back in the game fast. And here we are now, back-to-back Super Bowls. You're playing South Kingstown. How does that feel for you, the program, the community, going back to another Super Bowl in a tougher division?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where we were, in Division III last year, and we ended up going to Super Bowl. It didn't work out for us, but they bumped us up to Division II, and at the beginning of the season, we were, I think, ranked 9th in the division, and really weren't expected to do anything in the division. But, as things played out, as the season started to, go forward, started to realize that, hey, you know what? We can make some noise in this division, and, let's just continue to get better and continue to play football, West Warwick style, and see what happens. And, we had a chance to play for, the number 2 seed, and we ended up losing that game to Westerly 29-26. We lost to SK 10-7 during the season in a good football game. So, we played really good football all year. We had we lost to Portsmouth. We were up on them in the fourth quarter, and they made a play to score to win the game 30-22. So, in every game that we pretty much played this year, we were in the games and had the ability to potentially win. So, even in this semifinal game, we were, in my mind, I was thinking, if we just can, get a stop and get the ball back, then we can figure out a way to get the ball down the field to, score some points and potentially win the football game.
You got some great kids, Medeiros, Luke Gallo, your quarterback Corona, of course James Branch, the more popular ones, last season you had a football program of good kids, how people in your school, when I said in one kind of word, what can you say about the kids on his football program? And I think the vice principal, Mr. Green, said they're good kids.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it seems this season you have another group of them.
Yeah, no, I mean, every single kid in our program are good. They're all good kids. And, that stands for, the school, the district, also stands for the program. These guys, they're out there, they bought into what we're doing and what we're telling them to do. And they're working hard in the off season. They're doing everything we've asked them to do. And the fruit of it, the proof of it is in the success that we've had. I don't think there's one kid on this football team, other than our senior class, that doesn't know what it means to be even in a semifinal playoff game, if you think about it, because last 3 years we've been in the semifinals. So, our freshmen definitely, I mean, they're going to a championship their freshman year. Our sophomores were in a championship. There's the second championship for those guys. Our juniors, we lost in the semifinals to Middletown, 3 years ago. And our seniors, that was that first year that we came in, and I think we were 3-8 that first season. So we're at a point now where, the kids coming into the program actually believe in the vision that we have and that we set, and get the work that we need to do in order to be successful and to be a program that is perennially competitive on the football field. It doesn't mean championships every year, but it means that, we can compete every single year that we step on the field.
Now, I think Coach Pennington should be a definite Hall of Fame now, right? I mean, 2 programs, back-to-back Super Bowls in North Kingstown, and we have one of your former assistant coaches in the back room. We'll bring him up in a moment. I'm sure he has a few things to say. Back-to-back over there at North Smithfield. You come to West Warwick. You took over a program. I mean, you don't have to say it. I'll say it was a dumpster fire. Tough program, and you just turned it around. The first season, you were 1 game shy of playoffs. Next season, you made the playoffs. Year after that, semis. Year after that, Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Mike, I appreciate that, and I appreciate, the kind words that you're saying. But it takes a team. I have a great staff that come alongside me, and then they do a lot of work. And it's one guy can't turn a program around. It takes a team to do that. It takes administration. It takes a staff. It takes the kids. It takes a community. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like the hidden sauce, so to speak, in success. It's having the right staff, getting the administration to buy into it, getting the community to buy into it, and then finally getting the kids to buy into it. And I believe that we're at that point in West Warwick where we have all of those different ingredients, so to speak, and that we can put into the cake in order that the product comes out really well.
And you actually said that when we met at Guided Park at fans only did. You actually said the same thing. The administration, it takes everybody to make it work.
Absolutely. You could have the greatest coach, and I'm not, like, again, by saying that, I'm not blowing smoke, but you can have the greatest coach, and if you don't have all the other pieces together, it won't amount to much. But you got to have it all. You got to have a coach. You got to have a staff. You got to have the community. You got to have the administration. You need all of the pieces in order for the program to be successful, and on a continual basis.
Coach Piper, does this guy have it all?
It's on the top of my list.
What's up, Coach?
How we doing?
Doing well.
Congratulations. Big weekend for you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're ready.
Go get it.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Coach Piper, man, I know how much you feel about, Coach Pennington. We talked about it many times, what do you think about him back to back in another Super Bowl?
If I said I was surprised, I'd be lying. But we've been able to kind of watch it. It's been kind of cool because we see them in the preseason. So I kind of get a gauge. I know very well what he likes to do and what his teams eventually are going to look like. So when I see them in August and I tell them, "Oh, you guys are going to be just fine," the last years, I've told them, I said, "Listen, the pieces are there. You guys are going to be just fine." We've gotten to see them up close and personal in practice, and I think you see a lot in practice. And we see how hard they work. So I'm not surprised they're there. If you'd asked me in August who was going to be there, I believed I said it last year that West Warwick was going to be there, and I said they'd be there again this year.
And you are pretty good at that, Jeff. I gotta say, man, Jeff is pretty good at calling these games. I hate it at times, but Jeff, what is Coach Pennington telling his team preparing for tomorrow's game? Answer that and give me a minute.
Yeah, I'll almost bet that he has said, "Go out and be wizards. Go out and do what we do, and then be competitive, and the scoreboard will show whatever it shows at the end of the game." He's going to tell them not to make the mental mistakes. Drive killers kill. I'm pretty sure that statement's come out of his mouth. And he's going to say, "Guys, rely on each other. Play for the guys that are in the same color jersey, and if you get a chance to put a lick on somebody in a different color jersey, do it." And they're going to play their kind of football. And I think South Kingstown is going to play a similar style. This could be a rock fight tomorrow.
I agree. I think it's gonna be a 45-minute game.
Yeah. Yep. And when it comes down to that, and you got two teams that play similar styles, it's going to be about who pops a big play and who makes a big mistake at the wrong time, and it's going to mean the difference between winning and losing a football game.
Absolutely.
I've said it that this is probably going to be one of the I think this is the game of the weekend, of the games that we have on. I mean, the NK and Barville game is going to be great. I seen Eddie Insko saying NK is going to roll over Barville, but that's not let me tell you, 25 guys on that program, that's not an easy 25 guys to roll over.
Yeah, I think I commented right underneath his post that, I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. So, I think all the games are going to be pretty good this weekend.
They'll let anybody in this place. Coach Fulton, what's up, Cliff?
What's going on, man? How you been?
Hey, Coach.
All right.
Congratulations, Coach Pennington. Again. What's this, 19 years in a row you in playoffs?
Not that many.
No, listen, congratulations. You're always putting together a great program.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, Coach
Coach
Pennington.
How we doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And next week we have UMass Dartmouth, after, Coach Penn goes out there, competes against SK, wins that game. UMass Dartmouth is playing on the road up in Springfield. Very tough game. It's time for them to take their next step. Najee Barrows said, "Good luck, fellas."
Thank you, Naj.
In today's
game.
Three-time conference champions are up there at UMass Dartmouth, and some coaches are still saying anyone could go there and play, but if anyone could go there and play, they're doing a hell of a job coaching.
Yeah, no, it's a great program up there, and they're doing a great job. And Ryan, I was speaking with Ryan McCormick just the other day, and just the knowledge and the thought that goes behind everything that they do is what makes that program what it is. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that really care and work really hard in order to, get them where they are. And, that's a credit to the head coach, credit to the coaching staff up there, and then also a credit to the young men that go to school there.
Absolutely, man. Coach Fulton, man, you must be getting the itch to come back to football.
Yeah.
Don't be shy now. I've never known this kid to be shy. Look, he's blushing.
Blushing a little bit. Actually, I think I said on your podcast a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I'm coming back. Yeah, I missed it. I had a lot of personal stuff I had to take care of first, so I put all that nonsense behind me. And all right, let's go. 2025. I'll come right out and say it. I'm coming back. Don't know where I'm going to go. Don't know if I want to be a head coach, if I'm going to go on a staff, but I'm just going to see if and anything opens. If I do become a head coach, some of my assistant coaches have already reached out. So I got that itch. Yeah. So I'll be watching the Super Bowl. My boy Pennington's going to take that. So, and then I'll just get more excited to come out and play, come out and coach again. So we'll see what happens.
Eddie Olette said, "Good luck, Coach Pennington."
Thank you, sir.
Mikey putting me on the spot, man. That's
hell of a job he does at the Admirals, which plays at North Smithfield High School. They just won another championship, right?
Another one. Yep.
Another one. Like,
wow. Yeah, nice. And Eddie does a good job over there in Woonsocket too. I saw him a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Is Eddie still in Woonsocket?
Yeah. I saw him a couple weeks ago when they came up and played us. That was a great game. It was a great football game.
Coach Bebo has a great team up there, and hopefully that Barry Field. I think he said they played the last game on Barry Field, so hopefully everything with Barville gets situated with the football field. Has there been any updates, Coach Piva?
I have no idea. I know that they're in the works of trying to get a new field in, and they're seeing some hurdles in some of their community members, but yeah, I have no idea.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to Coach Ferraro, maybe ask him, because I know there was a no contact order put in place up there to do some testing, but these fields are safe though. If if all these programs are doing it. Hendricken breaks another one. I posted congratulations today, and everybody they all went in on me, and I say, don't be mad. I'm not really mad at Hendricken. If you want to be mad at someone, I say be mad at the league for allowing it. Maybe the rules. Any of us coaching, we would be doing the same thing, right? If it was allowed. I don't want to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm talking about Hendricken earlier. Oh, yeah, okay.
Every coach on here just went and played the fifth. We ain't get into that. No, we're not talking about
Hey,
it.
listen, might get back in the mix next season. Thank you, guys. The Admirals, 3 straight chips going back to the Nationals in January. That's what I mean. Rhode Island can ball. We got some ballers.
There we go. Congratulations. Actually, I'm not going to hate on Hendricken because Central, if he had a field goal, he would have beat them. Would have knocked them out. What was it last year? The year before that, North Kingston knocked out LaSalle. So it can be done, but it's not just the coaches. It's the players that are going to stay where they are. They're going to go to that school. I'll just use any public school. And I'm always a big favor for the public schools to beat the private schools. I'm a little biased. I am what I am. But instead of these kids transferring or thinking they're going to go to a private school and they're going to start, they're going to be better, stay home. Help your team build, help your friends, help your community. And that's how you build a successful program. Look what Coach Pennington has done at West Warwick. I'm not going to say it's a dumpster fire, but it wasn't the best program when he got into it. And what did he do? I'm sure, and me knowing Pennington, he said the same thing. He started at the youth guys. Hey guys, stay here in West Warwick. go through the system, come to the high school, come together. So there's not just 3, 4, 5, players. There's 15, there's 16, and all of a sudden they're freshmen playing, then they're sophomores, and then now they're acclimating into the program, and now that's why you're having success. All these kids in these public schools should be doing the same exact thing. Win for your program, win for your community. You can go to a private school and sit the bench for a whole year and get a ring. Great. Did you play? Did you have fun? Did you get the experience? You only have 4 years in high school. Don't lose it on the bench. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, West Warwick's lost its share of players to Hendricken. I mean, look at Xavier Truss. He's a West Warwick guy, right? But it is what it is. You got to compete. The schedule is what the schedule is. No one should hate on Hendricken. They're just doing what they have to do. They're playing their schedule, and they're playing football. And it just comes down to being able to compete and how the public schools can get to a place of competing with Hendricken and LaSalle. So I mean, it is what it is. Congratulations to Keith Croft and another championship. And hey, it is what it is. Good job.
Yeah, and he just said it. Central had him on the rope. Central had him on the ropes. Imagine if Central beat Hendricken, you would have North Kingston versus Central in the D1 state championship. So it can be done. You just have to apply yourself. You have to have that dog in you.
If I'm not mistaken, Portsmouth beat them this year. So
that's right.
High School beat them this year. So it's doable. You know what I mean?
It can be done.
Yeah.
And Cumberland really got the bad end of the stick this year playing against them. They got a call for running into the kicker. How about being tripped into the kicker? They get another player, Hendricken player, dives at the Cumberland player as he's before the ball even gets to him, right in front of the official. And I think coaches, parents, they get mad at the officials for missing some of these calls. There's not really any accountability. I don't know what we can do. If an official misses a call or just don't make the call, nothing happens to him. There's no accountability for it.
There's not, but what you can do is, excuse me, and it happened to me when I played Tollgate. I complained. Mikey was on your podcast about it. Blatant misses, like calls that you cannot miss. They said, cut up the film, send it to us. So when I did that, they actually replied and said, our referee was out of place, or this referee was looking at a different area. So it kind of helps them if a coach can cut up plays that are blatant, not judgment ones. I mean, just the ref should not have missed it. Send it to the association and let them take a look at it, and then let them analyze themselves. And I think that's how they get better, because I don't think they watch any film. They're not watching our film, right? I don't think there's a coach, in Rhode Island that got contacted by a referee and said, "Can you put me on huddle so I can see how I refereed the game?" The only way they're going to get better is if we help them get better and start sharing some of the some of the films, or cut up what they missed. And some of it could be us. We could be thinking, "Oh, that should have been called," and because we're biased, it's on our it's on our team. But if we can cut up some of the films, send it to the referees and say, "Hey, you missed this." Maybe it can help educate them instead of saying in a bad manner. Let's educate each other and help one another out. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah, I know. Jeff, I'm sure you remember me saying what I'm about to say. We have to teach our players too that they're a part of the game. So if we look at the game itself and how it's played, the refs are part of that. I mean, penalties are a part of that. And we got to be willing and able to, teach our kids that, hey, you know what? If you hold, if you block in the back, if you do these things, those refs are going to be part of the game. And also, guess what? They're human. So because they're human, they're going to make mistakes. You know what I mean? They're going to not see things. They're going to, call plays that maybe, you and I would look at and say it's not the right call. You know what I mean? They're human. So they're going to do those types of things. But it still all comes down to they're part of the game. They're built into the game. So we have to go in, being willing to overcome those things, being willing to play through those things in order to be successful on the field.
Yep. I mean, I had one this year where I saw it a certain way. I went out. We talked to the official about it. He looked at me and said, if that's what happened, I missed it. I apologize. What more can I say about that? It's already said and done.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah, it's
So,
over.
like, they're human too, right? Just like I blow calls, right? I put us in a bad situation at times. They miss things too, just like the players miss things. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but if
Absolutely
you
correct.
miss something, it's like, like we always criticize the referee. Hey, referee, way to screw up third down. They'll be like, hey, coach, way to mess up that third and short.
I can do that with the best of them.
We all can.
I'm sure.
We all can. And, and it goes both ways. Like both coaches just said, we're not perfect. We're not, 100%. We can call a play that doesn't work and somebody can come back and yell at us and went, well, why did you run it? Should have thrown it. Well, we break down film. We do all that. We do the best that we can do. So the only way, again, I think you can prove it is help the referees, but also, like Coach Pennington just said, teach the players that, yes, the referees are part of the game. And honestly, I've been coaching for about 20 years. I took a little break. I've never heard that. So I learned something. I'm putting that in my coaching memory bank to teach the players.
There you go.
Hey, absolutely. Listen, I'm always learning something. So
there you go. Yeah, they're part of the game. It's built into the game. So if you're a student of it, if you're a student of the game, include them. Refs are what they are. There's good ones, there's bad ones. Just like there's good coaches, bad coaches. There's good players, bad players. There's good police officers, bad police officers. I mean, it is the nature of human. It's a human nature.
Absolutely,
that's true.
man. Well, with the Super Bowl this weekend, man, Division 4 Davies making it against Narragansett, somebody that's been there several times in the last couple of seasons. Ken Davies, do they have what it takes to beat a team like Narragansett?
They do. They do have what it takes. It should be a tough matchup. I think Narragansett's probably favored there. But with the elements being what they are, it's not going to be a fun day to play football out there at times. It's wet, it's cold, it's raw. Both Davies and Narragansett both present their own problems. They both have the ability to run it, and they both have big play receivers as well. It's a pretty even matchup, and I think Davies beat them early in the season. So I'm sure they feel pretty good about where they are, and I'm sure they feel pretty good about going into this game. Like I said, all the games this weekend, I think, are coin flips, and anything can happen. And Davies has to feel that way too.
They beat them during the season.
Yeah.
Davies beat Narragansett during the season. So
to start the season.
Yeah, they've already shown that they can beat them. So it's just a matter of going out there and playing the game.
Yep.
Wes, Mike Green just called in. He couldn't get online, but he wanted to say, congratulations, go Wizards, go get them.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to make sure everything was cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, he said, go get them. But yeah, Davies definitely has the capability.
I'm going to talk about Davies for a minute. What Coach has done at Davies, excuse me, is outstanding. I got Davies winning. I got him winning the D4 Super Bowl. They beat Narragansett already. The weather's going to be a big issue. If we look at Narragansett, what does Narragansett like to do? Throw the ball. You ain't throwing the ball in this type of weather that good. Davies likes to run the ball down your throat. They can throw it, but they like to run the ball. So when you have the elements the way they are now, I think it favors Davies. Davies has confidence that they can beat Narragansett. And you're a Narragansett player. This team can beat you. And that also plays a big factor in going into the game. Wow, we've already lost to this team, even though that's not how you want to think about it. Davies has the confidence, and Davies has the confidence. Narragansett's still finding its way.
Yeah, Narragansett does some things that make life really difficult. They play at a really fast pace. They don't huddle. They don't let you catch your breath. and they put out some formations that really challenge you on the edges, and then they can turn around and run it out of those formations when they've spread you out. So the one thing Davies might have going for them is and they did it to us when we played them early in the season. Davies has the ability to go man and kind of match up with guys and say, all right, let's see who's the better football player. We're going man to man. We're going to match up person for person. And if they can do that, I think they'll be in the game at the end. I just think Narragansett presents some tough things to deal with.
Coach Kessler just said something that, I say a lot of times. It's always tough to beat anyone twice. The weather definitely could be a factor against Gansett.
Yeah. I like Davies' secondary. I like their secondary, like Coach Pava just said. They'll man you up, so you can spread them. If they can play man coverage, keep a lot of guys in the box, it takes away the running game. And if they can man up really good and cause difficulties throwing the ball, you have a shot. So that's what Davies did last time when they beat them. So it's going to be an interesting game.
Yep. A lot of people are looking forward to this Division II game tomorrow. That's the most that more people I think are talking about this Division II game. Even the poll I did, which I think 110 people voted West Warwick. I put the percentages up yesterday, but I was very, very surprised that more people are conversating about the D2 championship than the Burrillville NK championship.
It's going to be a good game. Looking forward to it. Nadia, see you down there, my friend. Hopefully we get this. It's going to be a good game, a real good game. I truly think that the two best teams in D2 are playing tomorrow at noon. And, it's going to be a slugfest, and we're looking forward to it. We're excited about the game. And, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, thank you, Najee. Appreciate it. And Coach Kessler also said D2 is the best matchup. Absolutely. We got the Hendricken game out of the way. That one, and LaSalle went down. Burrillville and NK, I believe, is at 12 o'clock. 12 or 1 o'clock. I'm not really sure, but
12 has to be 12.
Yeah, and then tomorrow, when's Division 4? Is that tomorrow or today?
Tomorrow at Division 4
is today
right
at
now.
noon.
Yeah,
all right, yeah. They'll put Division 4. They'll match it up with a D1
Division 3 will play
program.
Division 3.
Now, with Coach Fulton being the only 6th seed, I think, to make it to a Super Bowl. Now, Burrillville was a 7th seed, so I assume they're probably the only 7th seed to make it to a Super Bowl. So, Coach Ferraro, one hell of a coach. Definitely, I tell everyone, Coach Ferraro, Coach Pennington is my 1-2 pick. After that, I'm really not sure. And they're both in the Super Bowl, so good thing they're not playing against each other. It'd be hard to But Coach Ferraro, this is his 9th Super Bowl. He won 6. Brought his team to 9. Great coach over there.
I just got to say something about him. He's a really good guy and a really good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Best, personality, do anything for you. I mean, he's a great guy, and he's a really good coach. So, yeah, hats off to Coach Ferraro and Burrillville, and all the everyone that's playing today and tomorrow. It takes a lot to get to this place. You need some luck, you need some talent, you need some things to go your way in order to get to this type of a game. And, so good luck to everybody, and hopefully no one gets injured, but everybody.
And you need Jesus in your life.
That's it, man. That's it. You need the Lord in your life, Coach, too. That helps. Faith plays a big role. Absolutely.
Coaches, with Burrillville having such a small team, 25 guys on the varsity, team basically, how do you game plan against a team like NK?
You only need 11.
That's it.
Yes, you do, but
Jeff, do you remember?
Your 25 are taking 120 reps a game compared to their. So you're going to get winded, and about getting tired early in the game. That happens, and it's kind of like, whoa.
By this point of the season, those kids are conditioned. They're ready to play the full game. It's nothing to them. Are they going to get tired? Sure, but it's a Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl Sunday, and those kids are going to find that adrenaline to finish a game. They might not have a ton of energy on that bus ride home. That's the way it should be. So, they're going to go out there and get it. And that Burrillville team, it helps when 20 out of those 25 guys are seniors. So they're really senior
they
heavy.
got a big senior class.
That's huge.
They're really senior heavy. They're well coached. It's not going to be them being tired will not be the difference in them winning or losing that game. I'll almost guarantee that.
Yeah. We had a situation like that in North Smithfield when we were playing Mount Pleasant. They hadn't lost a game in 2 years. They're coming on the field. We had 28 kids. They came on the field like 60 kids. And we're kind of looking. Our kids are looking, and we're like going. And I just said to them, I said, hey, guys, they only can play 11 at a time. If our 11's better than their 11, we win the football game. And we won that football game. So, it just comes down to, 11 guys on the field playing together, playing, with their hearts, playing for each other and getting after it. That happens, you have a chance to win.
And when you believe it in your mind, like I think them Burrillville kids are so dialed in. Like when they played Central, that was a game in the making that started 4 years ago. The last time Burrillville got put in Division I. A lot of people don't remember that. So them young kids are now seniors, and there was 18 of them, and they really believed where they wanted to get to. Jelinus, great quarterback. A lot of good kids on that program, man. Doing. I like Burrillville. I'm taking the underdog in that one as well. It's gonna be underdog weekend.
Listen, you're gonna have 11 guys playing on there. Heart. You have to have the heart, and you have to have the dog in you. You're the underdog, and you have to play. You have to play to your strengths. And I'll tell you, Burrillville. I've said this plenty of times with Mikey. How are they playing in D1? They got 25 guys. It doesn't even make sense. And there they are, playing for a state championship. So that says a lot to the coaching staff, and it also says a lot to the players. So when you have heart, it goes a long way. Nothing can stop you. So good luck to them 25 young men.
Yep, it says a lot about
going in
those
for a
kids.
battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm sure they learned something playing NK a couple weeks ago. So
yeah.
All right, so
hey, but guys, I gotta cut loose.
All right, Coach Penn, thank you.
But hey, guys, we'll see you. Thanks for hopping on, Mike. You keep doing a great job. You're doing putting Rhode Island high school football on the map, and let's go Wizards.
There we go, man. Congratulations.
I'll send you a message in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good luck, Coach Pennington. Always a pleasure to talk with you, and go get that. It's yours. Go get it.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon. Coach Penn played Westerly the other day, and I'm reading the newspaper, and they say Lorenzo Perry. They're saying Lorenzo Perry, beat Westerly, this and that. And, I called the newspaper up, and I had to set, I sent the editor a notice. He apologized. So it was a mistake. They made a mistake. They blamed it on the school. The school owned it. It was a mix-up in the program. So,
but listen, Mikey, I gotta go. I want to hop on. I have to do Coach's Corner. Then I have to do my show. So I got 2 other podcasts today. Keep it busy. So
the Raiders fan podcast is doing it.
It's doing it. I'll tell you what. We got a big following. So go on TikTok, go on YouTube, follow us. I'm starting another one next year. So I'll talk more about that when I get there.
You're gonna be doing a lot next year.
Next year, 2025. Listen, I had 2 years of hell. Next year is gonna be a little better, I hope. But Coach Pava, it's always great seeing you.
Good to see you, Cliff.
And I'll sure I'll be talking to you this year. And Mike, thanks for everything that you're doing. Absolutely love coming back on the show. And since you threw me under the bus, yes, I'm throwing my hat back in the coach's ring next year, and let's see what happens.
All right, man, Coach Fortin. Can't wait to see you on the field soon. Talk to you later. Everyone, go check out the Raiders fan podcast. If you're a Raiders fan, I guess.
Don't listen. I'm
he
leaving. Bye.
See ya.
became a Raiders fan when Tom Brady went over there. Ah. I caught him right at the nick of time, man. Eddie Insco was in the building. He said all it takes was 11.
That's it.
Coach Piper, man, it's always great. Thank you. You're always willing to come on, talk about your program. Ben Black did a great job, when he came back. What do
Yeah,
you guys got planned for Thanksgiving?
we just got to get ourselves ready to play a football game on Wednesday night. We get Davies, so they're still playing. They're still going to be sharp. We've kind of been just kind of trying to stay conditioned and trying to keep our guys. We'll probably have less than 20 when we show up to play that game, but there you go. It only takes 11. My guys hear that all the time.
I bet. Yeah, no doubt. Well, thank you for coming on. I'm sure it meant a lot to Coach Pennington. Everybody that's playing the Super Bowl today, tomorrow, be safe. Don't get yourself in trouble. Coaches, easy, calm down. Don't get thrown out of this game.
Definitely not.
But yeah, it's gonna be some good football. I'm gonna try to have some of the Burrville game on here. I want to see how them and NK do. I can never go against a Coach Ferraro coach team. It's just
No, they'd have been my pick today too. So that's I'm leaning towards. I'm pulling for him. We see him in 7-on-7s. I talk to Coach Ferraro as much as I can, and I'm pulling for those guys.
Yeah, he's a great coach. Over 100 and something wins. 9 Super Bowls, won 6. I told him, well, you can't wear all your Super Bowl rings, so if I can have this one, or maybe Bobby will give me his. We'll see. And this might be the end of Coach Gelinas as well, on this Burrville sideline.
Yeah, he's been there a while, and that's part of what makes that program so good and so strong all the time. Is
he said he's going to go ref.
They've got coaches that have been there for a while. They know each other. Like, I'm sure Coach Ferraro doesn't have to say a word. He just has to give a look, and they know exactly what he's looking at, and bingo, and it gets done. So we'll see.
Your guy over here, he's supposed to be a Northman, the northern side of the state, and he's over here rooting for someone on the south side of the state. What's up with that?
Coach Insco will call it how it is. If he likes North Kingstown, he likes North Kingstown.
Coach Insco's always ready to take the far left approach. Hey, that kind of made sense. I like that. The far left approach. My man, Eddie. Eddie's, you know what? As much as they all talk shit about Eddie, when he was with the...
I better not ever hear it.
Right, exactly. No. When he was with the Junior Clippers, they said some pretty horrible things. The Valley Breeze should be ashamed of themselves for the reporting they did on it. But out of all the sports that I seen Coach Eddie be a part of, I never heard any of them say any of the stuff all the horrible things that they said about him. And so I don't believe none of it. Basketball from soccer to, he may have a different style of coaching.
Let me talk about Coach Eddie for a second then, if that's where we're going to go. First of all, don't ever let me be in the same room as somebody that has anything bad to say about Coach Insco, all right? Because it won't go very well. Secondly, Coach Insco will coach our kids hard, right? He might say some things that the kids don't want to hear. He might say some things that parents aren't going to agree with, okay? But Coach Insco is the first guy that would throw himself in front of a bus if it meant any of his kids, any of our players were safe because of it. So I'll take that guy on my staff 100 out of 100 times. And, he doesn't ask for the fanfare. He doesn't look for the limelight. He'll put his own stuff aside, and he's so generous, generous with his time, generous with everything, and I'm thankful he's on our staff. You know, and when you ask the kids deep down, all it takes is to get to know him for a little bit. The kids will do anything for him too. So I've seen it firsthand. I can't be more happy that he's on our staff. He's a guy that I want in my corner 100 out of 100 times.
I'm glad it worked out, you know, with Eddie going over to your program, because I know he had a couple, you know, he was bouncing a few things, and you know, I think he made the right move. Eddie could have made the choice to go to a program, you know, that it was an easier path, but he chose to go with the kids that really needed the coaching, you know. So, and he's very generous, and we showed that when he was at Situate. Everything he done for them kids, his time, his pocketbook, everything, you know. Eddie's a great dude, and
listen, there's some rough edges, right? There's going to be some nicks and cuts from those rough edges, but it's what makes the world go round. And you know, there's a lot of rough edges out there in the real world, and if our kids get to learn that some of those rough edges can be rounded and softened, then they learn it in high school, and it's something they'll be able to take with them, you know, past high school. And Coach Insko does a great job, you know, relaying some of those messages. Like I said, doesn't always want to be received by the kids, by the parents at times, but sometimes it needs to be. And he offers that little dose of reality for us at times. I know I certainly, you know, appreciate it, and I need that dose of reality. You know, and that's why we make a good team, right? There's that little bit of a yin and yang with us, and it works.
And what I do want to say while we are talking about Eddie, I've been wanting to say it. Shout out to little Colin, man. You know, my little dog. A couple years ago, people might recall that I did a podcast, Colin getting banned at 6 years old from the Cumberland Junior Clippers. He gets banned. We fight. We get him back on the team. He gets banned again. You know, I guess this year Colin made the decision to go play for the Express.
He did.
You know, and they went up and played Cumberland, and I heard it didn't go too good for Cumberland. So Colin got his get back.
He's got his get back.
Shout out to Colin, man. Shout out to little Colin, man. No kid at 6 years old should be banned, even if the parent was obnoxious. Not saying he is, but even if the parent was, no 6-year-old boy should ever get banned from any youth program. And anyone that thinks that there's a problem with you, you know.
Yeah.
But
I got to watch that kid play a lot this year. That kid played with a smile on his face the whole season. Played with a ton of excitement. My daughter actually helped coach the cheerleaders for that group, so I was actually at their games a lot. And I loved watching him play. I love getting a chance to talk to him. I've spoken to him a couple times before games, after games, at practice, and he just has so much energy, and he just loved to play this year, and it was so great to see. So I'm happy for him.
See that, Colin? You officially been coined. Can we keep it real? Look at that. Colin was a pleasure and an awesome teammate this year. He has a home as long as they want to be there. That's awesome. But I've been wanting to say that. I told Eddie that I was going to shout out Colin. He said, you don't have to do that. I said, I want to do that. I just was waiting for the right time. So, Eddie, make sure you show this to little Colin. But, all right, Coach Piver, man, thank you. Coach Gillard said Eddie Insko is the best, and I truly enjoyed coaching his son at Cumberland. Awesome. I think we had a great season. Football, the RTI, RBI wasn't that bad. You know, the ranking percentage index. I think when it got to week 8, what they got to figure out is the out-of-state games. If you could figure out the out-of-state games. And the other thing, like, you know, I don't think teams going to want to play down anymore anyway. I think after this next realignment, we might see them realigning by school size. We might see, because they're going with this RPI, which is a max prep formula, which they use it in other states. And this was the problem we had with the out of state, the school size. We had to figure out who gets points for this. So we might see Hendricken in Division 3. And we might see Coventry and teams like Hope and Central and Mount Pleasant in Division 1.
Yep.
Where D1 might not be the best division.
I mean, there's never going to be a perfect formula, but this one that we had this year was the best alignment and the best system I've seen over the since I became a head coach, even when I was an assistant coach. So, for the last 10 years or so that I've been involved in high school football, this has been the best one.
Narragansett and Central Falls was my biggest issue, but I like this alignment. Central Falls just Narragansett. It was kind of a crime having them in fall. Like they did now. You've seen how good they played. It was like Pontigansett 2.0.
So if you have 43 teams, and we're worried about being unjust, and we're worried about being unjust to just 2 of them, you did pretty good.
No, you said that a couple of weeks ago. You're absolutely right. And it was a great formula. Division 2. The problem I had with Division 2, after the first couple of teams, it dropped way off. The quality between teams, it just fell dramatically. But
you're gonna have that.
I think it was good. So we'll see how this year comes. I don't think Burrillville's gonna be as good next season, with 2 seniors on their program, but we'll see.
Can't bet against them.
No, you really can't. And I said that earlier. Gino also said, much respect to Coach Piver. Who's Coach Piver? Do we know him? As well. This dude is so tall when he stands up, man. I couldn't believe how tall this guy is. He was around our youth program all year and very engaging. All the kids in the program are getting to know him well. Only helps as we try to build the feeder program. Now, Coach, are they using similar things that you're teaching your kids? So when they get to high school, it's like, all right, they already have an idea of your concepts?
Yeah, the big thing is the language. To do all of the stuff that we do, they don't necessarily have the personnel because, like us, they're not huge in numbers in terms of their program. So, like, they might not have a quarterback that can throw it. They might not have some receivers, or they might have a really good offensive line and some good running backs that we don't have. So to ask them to do the same things that we do, it's not really fair. But we ask them to use the same language, right? So long as the kids know, what gaps and what whole numbers, so long as all that stuff is kind of communicated up and down the line, that everybody knows the same. That's the big thing, is the language. I don't want to have to teach somebody our football language as they get to high school. I don't want to have to teach 30 kids that. If I only have to teach 1 or 2, that's one thing. So that's the biggest thing is the terminology. It's the language. So long as they're familiar with some of the stuff, and I think they're doing a great job. I think they're doing a really, really good job. All their teams had great seasons this year. I was able to be around most of them. So we're hoping that it translates and our numbers start to pop up with kids being excited to play football in North Smithfield.
Well, you must be doing that for a long time, because your class with Cole Vowels, them guys, like, they adored you, and you was coaching them when they was like babies. So you was very emotional when they graduated.
I was. Those guys were like kids to me. Like, they were kids that were playing below where I was coaching at the youth level. So they saw me in practice. I'm not the type of guy. I'm not the type of coach that just walks to my team. I would stop by and see Cole's group and see how they were doing, and we would have conversations. But I was also the middle school basketball coach. So a lot of those kids got to play middle school basketball for me. So I coached them in basketball for a few years, and then they'd come up and play high school football for me. So that's how that bond kind of strengthened as we went.
Yeah, that was a good class you had. You know,
It
them
was
were all good kids in that class.
good boys, and they've been around our program all year. We would see Cole a couple times a month. It seemed like he was at most of our games. He wore the headset and was in the stands communicating down to me what he saw, and um, extremely helpful. Zach Kerrigan, we saw almost on a nightly basis. He coached an express team this year, so he coached the kids that hopefully I see next year. And then he'd come to high school practice after that express practice was done, and he'd spend some time with our kids. Um, Josh Carafell's still on our staff and helps out quite a bit. So I've got some former players that are kicking around. At one point this year, I think we looked up and there were 7, TJ Smith and Cade Curran and all those guys. We looked up, there was like 7 former players out here trying to coach up our kids in practice. So, that kind of tells us that the family atmosphere we try to build here in North Smithfield is working. It means the world when I see those kids come back, and not just for games when they can throw on their Letterman jacket and stand on a sideline and be cool, but they actually come out to practices and get to talk to the kids. And, it means the world that these kids now want to try to coach and give back. It just means that we did something right.
All right, before I let you go, there's one other game we really didn't cover. The Classical Pontiganza game. Classical putting up big numbers this year. That Pontiganza team, I remember Cook bringing a lot of them guys in. Now they graduating Grenier, outstanding quarterback. Can they get by Classical? I mean,
Sure they can. Didn't they do it a couple weeks ago?
yes. Well, no, they didn't Classical. Yes. No, they Classical beat them, I believe,
Did
right?
they? So here's I always have a tough time picking against senior heavy teams. And again, we have the fortune of playing Pontiganza in our injury fund game. So we saw all those seniors on injury fund day. They're a really solid unit, right? It's a team that comes around not that often. And then Classical probably has the best player on the field in Duke. So it's going to be, can the 20 guys beat their stud? If they can, they have a chance to win the game. If they let Duke go crazy, Classical's
Coach
really
Penn said
tough.
it was the best. Coach Pennington said it was the best when they all came out to our practice, and I got a chance to see them.
Yeah. Yep. Our joint practice, I think we had Jack Pachetti was around. I think Cade Curran was around. Josh Carafell was around that night. We've had those guys around the program the last few years, and as a coach, it makes you feel good. Like even Nate Tessier was texting me yesterday asking how things were going. So these guys, they're in constant communication. They care about us. They care about the program. So it means North Smithfield left a mark on some of these kids, and it really shows that it goes beyond some of the wins and losses. Sometimes it becomes about the experience that you share. So it means the world to me to have those guys around.
All right, man, Coach Piper. Thank you. Appreciate you coming on. I'm sure you'll be watching the game. Rooting for Burrville Broncos.
Yes,
which
sir.
they should be down in now. I'll tune in soon and see. But yeah, thank you, Coach Pennington. Everybody in the chat, thank you, Coach Fortin, for coming on. And again, we had almost 270,000 views.
Yep.
This month alone. I don't get monetization no more. So anybody, you can feel free. You want to help me out, donate. The StreamYard just went up. Some of this stuff gets pretty
help them out.
Pretty expensive. But appreciate everybody.
Guys,
Coach
enjoy the Super Bowls. Have a great Thanksgiving. I'll see you soon.
Yes, we're going to talk about that too soon. All right, I'll talk to you soon, Coach Piva.
See ya. Bye.
All right. Always nice to have Coach Piva stop in. Thank you to the Express, Gino Olaz. Much respect to you as well. Let's see who else. Wes Pennington, Eddie Insco, Coach Jalal Leonard, Najee Barrows. Good luck with your game coming up next Sunday. UMass Dartmouth has a bye. Big shout out to Coach Kessler. Who else was in here? Eddie Olette, doing good things. And I'll be in touch with you, Eddie. I'll definitely let you know as soon as I hear something. Absolutely Central had him on the ropes. But who do you guys like coming up for this game? Burrillville, North Kingstown. It's going to be a good one. Absolutely going to be a great game. So appreciate everybody, man. Last night, I got to make sure I shut this off. Yesterday, that shit ran for like 8 damn hours. I don't even know what we were talking about in here. You know what I mean? But I appreciate everybody. My pronouncer has been, and like I say, if it wasn't for none of us, there wouldn't be none of you. I appreciate everybody. Oh, Josh Sylvester, Coach of the Year up there, UMass Dartmouth. Dante Avil Santos, Offensive Player of the Year. Tyler Gamma, Offensive Lineman of the Year. Not surprised when 14 UMass Dartmouth players were on these lists, and I think 7 of them come out of Rhode Island. So it's always great when we see Rhode Island guys on these lists. Look at that. Shout out to Kobe Stockwell. Who else we got? Tyler Gamma out of New London, close enough. Warren, Rhode Island. Jalen Kopecki. Angel Sanchez out of Providence, Rhode Island, first team. Jalen Aponte, running back out of Boston, Mass, first team. Dante, first team. And Rhode Island players, second team, who we have on the list. We have Jonathan Bright. Oh, he's from where? Shout out to Jonathan Brightman. Let's see. Joshua Surt, Westerly, Rhode Island. Shout out to Josh. Does that say Japan? Oh, wow. Framingham got a player from Japan on their team. Crazy, see? Just like they play football in Rhode Island, they play football in Japan. Of course they do. And big shout out later tonight after the game. You can go down there and see Greg, see Tommy, see Wilson, all them guys, at the New York system. Tell me your boy Mikey sent you. And I think that I think that's it, man. Shout out to everybody. If it wasn't for us, there'll be none of you. What does that mean? If it wasn't for us, there'll be none of you.
Not promote or promotion any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is meant only for educational purpose only.
Live with your mom. And if you don't live with your mom, basically, then we're going to punish you. And you're going to sit 50% of your season, and we're going to.
This is not Clown Town anymore.
Time I pull the plug. The game is over. The game is over. It's time I pull.
I love what Mikey does. Sometimes I'm like, yo, you over the edge, TMZ with it. But
the boy gonna do you something nasty.
I hate to say it, more times than not, he get the results he wants.
Right, and to be honest with you, I honestly don't think it's over. Honestly, I think exactly what this state needs. We've always needed a platform where we can call out the nonsense.
The repercussions.
That's the bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. That's the bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy. Commission. The bad guy. The bad guy.
Load up, dick.
We don't do no talking, we know what they do for the views. If I took a loss, no, I got it all back. They just wanna talk, so we gonna talk.
Here, Dello on the beat.
Handing online like they rich. I am not playing it safe. I said what I said. It is what it is.